good, y'all? Hope y'all can hear me. It's a little windy, but I just want to touch bases on these crazy shifting times that we're in. I know for a lot of people, you want to move out of America, like off the mainland, like the whole United States, and like go somewhere else and things like that. I had a few people reach out to me about that and everything. And really what I can say is, it's like, I haven't been like out of the country. Like, I have a passport, but I haven't been out of the country to use it. Now, Hawaii, yes, is, I'm grateful enough to not have had to use the passport to come into Hawaii, but Hawaii is its own entity, though. Hawaii is its own multi-dimensional realm within Earth. So Hawaii is 6 hours away from the mainland, and though it's been taken over by America and has American shit on it, nonetheless, Hawaii is still its own place. Okay? Hawaii is still its own place. So, all the Hawaiian Islands, it's its own island. And so basically, with the government taking over Hawaii, all they did was what they so-called did with going to the moon, is you just go and you just stamp your flag in the ground. That's it. But America, the whole entire United States is America, is a corporation, is this entity on the land, this virus, this sickness, this plague. And this plague has been spreading all over the earth, even in Africa. Africa is rising and growing, and so many people are bringing Americanized ways of being over to Africa. So I would just want to say, like, it kind of doesn't matter where you go, but if you want to get off of the mainland, I suggest you go to places like, South America, or like, Mexico, places like that. Belize, Brazil. But those are just my suggestions. You guys go where you feel led and called to go. And this ties into you having a spiritual relationship with the divine, with the Creator, with the Most High, with God, with Jesus, with Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a spiritual relationship with the Most High Spirit that's over you. Because though everybody call themselves now gods, goddesses, queens, kings, whatever, it's a higher power over us. And you have to be led and guided by that higher power. You have to pray. You have to meditate on certain things. You can't just move on a chessboard without being guided. You know what I'm saying? And, you also have to come out of Americanized ways of doing things. Now, I know we've been programmed to think a certain way, do things a certain way, because it's the system, and the system is everywhere, and other people are controlled by the system or this certain type of way of thought. However, I'm speaking from personal experience. For me, in my journey, I don't let nothing stop me, unless it's the Most High. I don't let nothing stop me. For me, if I never made a decision to move away from Indiana, my home state, to first go to Las Vegas, to just make that move, I shared this full story many videos back. It's titled Get Ready With Me. Get Ready With Me, and it's a story time about how I moved to Las Vegas. But I'm gonna just share with you guys in short. So, okay, I had moved out of my mom's house right after high school, like right after I graduated. And I moved out because I just wanted to fly, y'all. That's why I always resonate with the butterfly, you know, just spreading my wings and flying, just going. I moved out because of that, and then I moved out because I felt like I could do that. I felt like I could go on my own and be guided, because I always had a connection to something higher than me. And that something higher than me was kind of pushing me to fly. So, you know, I just watched my parents and how they lived and did things. And, you know, I just didn't want to be in the type of environment no more in the house, you know, what was going on in the house and stuff. So I'm like, bruh, I'm over this as soon as I graduate. Because you already know, all that after you turn 18 and you graduate, then you consider grown, then you could make decisions on your own and all that type of stuff. So it's like, okay, you wait till that moment come to where you just do that. So at that particular time, I had a girlfriend, and she went down to college, and she had a dorm, and her roommate, she was supposed to have a roommate, but she didn't have a roommate. So I'm like, well, shoot, if you don't have a roommate, I'm gonna be your roommate. I'm gonna move in. So, you know, as time got closer, she moved into the dorm and everything. Some time went on, and it's like, bruh, nobody assigned me no roommate. I'm really in here by myself. So I was like, bet, I'm coming. Literally. So I was like, I'm about to go. It was just so spontaneous. I was like, I'm leaving. And I told my mom, I was like, Ma, I'm about to move out. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm moving out. You know, I just told her, like, I'm going to be okay and everything like that. You know, you still can call me and stuff like that. You know, it's just, I have an open opportunity and I'm going to take it. Now, my mama thought, too, that I was going to go down there and go to school and all that stuff. But, nah, that wasn't my path. So I used that opportunity to first spread my wings and fly. I packed my car up that I worked for and got. You know, I had purchased my own first car by myself. So I was already in the whole Babylon loop, if you will. But I always had strategy, and I always had higher purpose to what I was doing. And I didn't want to be like my parents, just paying bills and having stuff just keep coming to the house. I'm getting stressed out about it. All my money is going to bills and stuff. So, you know, I moved down there with her 3 hours away. And, you know, I lived with her for a few months. And then I moved out, got my own apartment. I lived there for almost a year. Like, it was right close to a year. I had got a new car. And I was just thinking, like, okay, what I'm going to do? Like where I'm about to move to, because I don't want to be in Indiana no more. So I then moved in with my friend in Chicago. And I lived with her for a year. And then I just felt this burning urge. I was like, man, I got to go. I don't like Chicago. And I was just like, you know, it's just, see, with me, I journey. That's why I resonate so much just with that word and the energy of that word, journey. So, my life is a journey. You know, it's just going and flowing. And that may sound crazy to some people. That may sound irresponsible or anything like that. But this is just my story. It's part of my story. So, I lived with her, and the new car that I had got, I had to pay on it. I was paying my car note on it and everything, and it just got to a point where I was like, bruh, I'm tired of paying my car note. Like, every 2 seconds, it's like I'm paying this car note. And then, paying the car note, cell phone bill, car insurance, and whatever other bills I had at the time. And, I just wanted to be free. I had the money, but I didn't want my money going towards that. And then sometimes I didn't have the money. So I had just stopped paying. I stopped paying on my car note. I stopped paying the cell phone bill. I just stopped paying everything, basically. I eventually, of course, got my cell phone back on and everything. But, I never was afraid to detach from certain things. So I stopped paying on my car note. I moved out from her apartment, moved into my own apartment in Indianapolis. But, I had moved to Indianapolis. I had got a job waitressing. And, I was good at that. But it was just like, nah, this not it. This not it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in here, So I went back to my apartment. And I was just like, God, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? I was kind of upset for a little bit. I had cried. I had just surrendered. And I was just like, you know what I want? I'm laying my heart to you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this. So right after that, I felt good. So, I'm in my apartment. I'm getting it. I'm dancing. I'm just doing my thing. I'm in my own energy, my own space. And then the next day, I was like, gotta go into work. Then I was like, should I go to work? I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, I went back and forth with myself. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to work and it's going to be a good day. I didn't give myself this whole little pep talk. So I go outside to try and get in my car to drive to work. My car gone. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Hold up. Wait. I go back in. I literally did this. I went back inside. I'm like, okay. I know I ain't tripping. I went back outside and my car is gone. So I'm like, whoa, hold up, dude. Hell no, it ain't no way. It ain't no way. I'm thinking somebody stole my car, honestly. Like, for real. I'm thinking somebody stole my damn car. So I'm like, man, I'm cussing. I'm just mad. And then, I had to just calm down for a minute because it was just like, my car is, I had to kind of like let it really sink in. I'm like, damn, my car is gone. Okay, what I'm going to do? Like, I got to go to work. Am I going to go to work with this on my mind? What I'm going to do? And then, I had called my husband well, he wasn't my husband at the time. He was my friend. So I had called him and I was like, hey, my car gone, man. He's like, what? I'm like, man, it's gone. I don't know if somebody stole it. I don't know if it got repoed. I don't know what's going on right now. So I later on found out that it had got repoed. But I was skating with that car, y'all, for like 6 months, not paying no note. So I thought that was funny though that happened in that particular time, because it was like right after I prayed and everything, the next day my car, they just come swoop down on it and it's gone. So I called him, told him whatever, and he was like, well, just move out here then. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't just move down here. Like, I'm literally only in this apartment almost 2 months. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, this is not where I want to be. And this don't have nothing to do with, me not being at home or comfortable with myself, because when I lived by myself for a whole entire year, I was learning myself. I always been at home with myself, so you know how people say, a person who move around a lot, they not comfortable with themselves. Everybody always got the opinions and views about things. It could be so with some people, but for me, it was just a matter of, I wanted to just go. I wanted to just travel and move around. I didn't want to be bound. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be bound to bills. I didn't want to be bound to a car, a job. None of this of what this matrix system was about. I had speeding tickets that I didn't pay, suspended license, still driving, didn't give a damn. I didn't care. It can sound reckless, but it's true. I didn't let nothing stop me from being free, because, in my eyes, it's like, I need this piece of card, this piece of plastic, to justify and validate and show proof that I can drive. I can drive. Now, yes, I know it's people out there that can't drive, car accidents, all that stuff, but I don't think about all that shit, because I know that I'm covered no matter what. And whatever happened to me, happened to me. It's my time. That's just how I move. I don't move in that type of fear. You know what I'm saying? So I moved to Vegas, and my life changed entirely. Like, I done been so-called homeless, literally having no money. I already been there before moving to Vegas, but then I had a job. But I know what it feels like to not have any money at all, and you just like, well, how is anything gonna come in? I done already been through all those type of phases. Sleeping outside in a tent, breaking down the thoughts of what other people would think of me, even of what my ego wanted to try and make me think of myself, like I'm less than or something like that. And it's like, nah, I'm living, I'm in the earth, I'm experiencing something totally new. I'd rather be out here hearing the birds and all these different sounds and listening to these. I'd rather be out here getting to know myself, getting to know God, than be clocking in at a job for a few $100s that I'm not going to see until the end of the week or next week. Dealing with people that you may not like. Being in an enclosed environment, with people hovering over you, keep telling you what to do. Not having no sunlight because you're enclosed in a dark environment, depending on where you work at or whatever. And I just had that boldness and that courage to just step out on faith like that. Many a times, when we left Las Vegas and we traveled all cross country to go down to Georgia, lived in Georgia. And, the Most High will carry you. That's the best that I can say, because the Most High has carried me before kids and even after having kids. We down there in Georgia, we met a guy. We were living in our car. We had been living in our car in Vegas too, but, we had a lot of shelter in Vegas. We had apartments and many different other places, so we started basically living in a car when we would go up to the mountains, when we would start interacting with nature more and more, to where we didn't want to leave. So we would just sleep in a car so we could just wake up and see the mountains and be in that type of nature environment. We can go for a walk and everything. We ain't gotta go all the way down, because the mountains that we were at, it's almost an hour drive up away from the conjunction, all the function that goes on in Vegas. So it's like, we're not about to drive down there and go to the crib and all that. It's like, nah, we're gonna stay up here. So, once that barrier broke down of sleeping in the car, it's like, shoot, what the hell we paying rent for? Like, straight up, like, especially how the days been going. It's like, dude, you close your eyes and the sun is literally right back up. So what am I stressing about $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000 rent for? And that shit's stupid. I'm sitting here just throwing money away for temporary comfort. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just what this journey has taught me too, and still teaching me, is to just get out your comfort zone. And you know, when you just have eyes to see, it's like Babylon is falling. It's not gonna be McDonald's and all this shit too much longer. It's not gonna be this governmental system controlling shit too much longer. This paper dollar too much longer. But I know if you're in a situation and you got to do what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But you know, for those that kind of just want to live on the edge or get on the wild side, you know what I'm saying? Just live life and be free and journey and don't worry about nothing. Because when we were down there in Georgia, a guy literally, he had a tiny house. He let us stay there for like 8 months. And he let us use his car. We were so taken care of, man. So taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. The Most High was really showing out, pouring blessings left to right. And that ain't even a half of it, y'all. I have a whole book that I could write, you know, about this whole adventure life that I've been journeying, and grateful and privileged to just live and to obtain this type of awareness and perspective that I have now. Because, you know, even though I've had many hardships, I don't regret nothing, because it has built me up to be so strong that when this shit fall, I won't fall with it. I have grown to have a deeper appreciation for nature. I have grown to learn myself, to love myself on a deeper level, to learn myself, to know how to hear and listen and use my intuition more. I've learned what it is to be, you know, humble, to detach from my exterior world and not let these things define me. My relationship deepen with the Most High. So, you know, being without a car, being without a job, being without money, being without a home, shelter, those things don't define you. And you can't allow those things to define you. If you have it, if you don't have it, okay, examine yourself. How are you when you have it, and how are you when you don't have it, or when you at your last limb? Like, if you literally are down to like $5 or something, are you panicking? Are you worrying? Examine yourself. Examine your heart. What's truly in your heart? Do you desire all this outward shit more than you desire to have inner peace and joy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to just break down these programs. You have to break down what society says that you need in order to live and survive and have a good life and things like that. You know, because, you know, when you follow scripture too, you know, when the Most High say, don't worry about what you'll eat, what you'll wear, and things like that, don't worry about none of that. Just be in the now, live, be in joy, be at peace, be in my presence, and I will take care of those things. I will bring those things to pass. So you got to understand, you carry a aura, you carry a frequency, you carry a vortex. So if your vortex of thought is that of worrying and stressing, what I'm gonna do, where my food gonna come from, your mind just on food, all that, your thoughts is just like that. Your vortex is whacked. You know, but when your vortex is centered, when you're calm, when you're okay, things can start to move and happen, because you have the right attitude, you got the right momentum going on, you're grateful. Because most importantly, regardless of some food, regardless of shelter, regardless of a car, your ass is alive. Be thankful that you're alive. Be thankful that you have your eyes. Be thankful that you have your mind. Be thankful that you have your legs, your arms, because we take all these things for granted. Be thankful that you have a heart. Be thankful that you have a spiritual connection to the divine. And if you don't have one, get one. Develop one. Because when all this shit go away, all you gonna have is yourself and God. So start developing that now. Have that now. Because for a lot of people, when this shit hit the fan, you're not gonna know what to do. You haven't been prepared. You haven't been doing any preparations in the spirit, in the physical, anything. So you will fall with it. So when we become too accustomed and attached to the world, that's how we get lost. When we come out in nature, when we fast, when we put the phone down, when we just take a break from social media, or just throw your phone, period. Because you see the movie Matrix, you gotta throw that. You gotta eventually throw this phone, because the phone is a distraction. It's a distraction. It's a big distraction. We've been on the phone, y'all, for years. But the internet, period, we've been on the internet since this shit first came out. Like sitting at the desktop computer at your mama's house in the basement or something. Like when it had to dial up, all that. Like we've been on the internet for a good long time now. MySpace, Facebook when it first came out, Vine, Bebo, all that old stuff. So a good chunk of our life has been on social media, us investing a lot of time into social media. And now is the time, the best time, to invest that energy back into yourself. And that's what nature is doing for me. That's what me not working and not living a normal life like everybody else, that's what this lifestyle has done for me. It has allowed me to see the world from a new perspective. It has allowed me to see what really matters. And I have enough strength within myself to stand on what really matters to me. What really matters to me is my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being. My relationship with the Most High. This is what matters to me most. To be calm, to be centered, to be at peace. To have stillness, soundness. To have my family. To have love. That's what matters to me most. Not no money. Money come and go. Money is used to be spent. Money is nothing but currency. It's nothing but energy. It comes and it goes. And in one aspect, you could kind of say it don't even exist. So, it's just important to break free from this shit. And this is also what Jesus teaches to Thomas, in the book of Thomas. He teaches Thomas more of the mysteries of things, and if you don't fast from the world, then you'll never find the kingdom, however he put it. But so that's that. But in essence, overall, you just can't be afraid, y'all. You can't be afraid to step out. You can't be afraid to fly. You can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to go without. You can't be afraid of anything. And then really, it's an illusion you going without, because you're never without. It's about what you can call into your life. It's about what you can trust and believe and know that's going to come, and allow it to just come without you having to worry about it or stress about it. When you pray and ask and you speak forth what it is that you want, allow it to just come. Don't worry about the how and all that. Don't try and be too practical about it either, too logical about it. You can't believe in the supernatural and in miracles and in things unseen if you are trusting more in your own power and in what you can do for yourself than that of what the Most High can do, what the invisible force that's on your side can do. So really keep that in mind right there. Keep that in mind right there. You know, I have experienced a lot of miracles, you know, stuff that y'all wouldn't even damn believe, but I'm gonna save all that for later. But really though, I'm speaking wholeheartedly to y'all. You know, I know everybody got their own destiny, their own, well, I don't want to say destiny, but everybody got their own path, you know, and my path is not everybody's path. My path is just my path. But, you know, you could come across people with similar experiences or similar situations, circumstances, however it applies. So this is just my word of wisdom that I can truly speak for from my own experience. And everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. As long as you trust and believe and you feel that, you know that. Keep a smile on your face. Keep radiating that light, that beauty, that love. And most of all, you have to have a connection with the divine. You have to pray. You have to ask for what it is that you are wanting or needing, and you release that to the divine. You release that to God. You release it. And just know that it'll happen. No matter how long it takes. Because see, some things can take some time. And then, you know, it's just a test to see how you gonna act. Are you gonna curse God out? Are you gonna curse your spirit team out? You know, whatever it is that you believe, you gonna cuss them out because things ain't happening and working fast enough for you and blah, 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 blah. Because let me tell you, I've done that before. I got mad, I got upset, and I'm talking to spirit. I'm like, hey. And then, you know, I would laugh later on because it's like, you know, after I calm down, because it's like, girl, you know that they coming through for you. Shut your ass up. And I'd be like, nah, forget all that. You know, you kind of just want to be like stubborn like that or whatever. But no, for real. I could be thinking spirit is leaving me hanging, you know, just based out of false emotions. And the next day, literally, or later on, whatever, what I asked for will come through. And I'd be like, see, I'd be telling myself like, see, you got to calm your ass down, girl. You how many times God got to keep showing you over and over again that he's here, that she's here, that they're here? How many times the divine got to show you that you protected? How many times the divine got to show you that I got you before you can just fully trust? How many times? How many times we got to keep going over this? How many times? So, you know, sometimes you just got to keep going through that repetition for you to get it. But it's only when you go out and journey and step out on faith that you can truly receive that for yourself. Because, you know, even what I'm saying, you know, you can hear this and it can sound good. Because, you know, I know some people, hey, that sound good, easier said than done. I know, you know, because it's a whole different story when you got to be out here walking this shit out, you know, especially if you by yourself. You know, I'm grateful enough to have my family and everything, my husband and my kids and stuff, but I know how it is and how it can be, you know, when you by yourself, you know, doing this too. But, you know, whether you have somebody or you don't, you always have somebody, because spirit is always with you. God is always with you. And when you hold that in your heart, and when you know that, and be comfortable with talking to yourself, be comfortable with talking to the invisible. You know what I'm saying? My people right here, right with me. You know what I'm saying? You have to shut these eyes and cut this eye on. You have to believe. And you got to see past and beyond the illusions. Because you not having no money, an illusion. Hell, you could walk past $20 on the ground. Somebody could randomly come up to you and give you money. You could walk to your car and somebody could put money in your car. And I've had that done. I've had all of that done. My family, we go in the store. We come back out. We walk to the car. I see two $50 bills on the seat of the car. I'm like, baby, did you leave some money in the car? He like, nah. I'm like, well, it's two $50 bills on the seat. with a note. What's this note? So the note said, you have a beautiful family. Jesus will always provide. So, like I said, I know. And I don't think we had no money then. We only had, a little of what we had in that particular time, when we went in the store. But overall, man, like I said, miracles can happen if you open yourself up to life. If you open yourself up to God, you can receive blessings. And the blessings are not always physical. The blessing is for you to learn through these different cycles and seasons of time, of lessons. Reflect. Okay, if you in a season where you don't have a car, okay, well, what am I learning? What do I need to slow down and pay more attention to? Am I appreciating my body more? Can I be thankful that I have legs? I could walk to the store. It's not that far away. I could take a nice walk. You know what I'm saying? However it applies. If you in a cycle, a season of your life where you single, or you just going through some grief or whatever, just always look for the beauty in the lesson. The lesson is the jewels, is the gems, is the treasure, it's that substance, it's that goodness, it's that fruit, it's that ripening. Because if everything is lolly all the damn time, you don't have no real perception, or real good perception of life and hardship and lessons, and how these things are necessary to cultivate the very best in you and out of you. Because when we go through struggle and hardship and, more harsher lessons, it cultivates deeper things within us, opposed to when everything is smooth sailing all the time. You know what I mean? So really go within yourself and be open and willing to learn and to just grow and to, just to venture out like that. Have that boldness and that courage. Now when it comes to my story, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just my story. I did what I felt was right in those moments, and those moments led me on and on to where I am now and who I am now. Because without me doing those things, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't have this awareness that I have now. I wouldn't have all this, what I have now, this experience, this substance, just all this magical goodness that me and the Most High have been cooking up. So be joyful in the journey like that. You know what I mean? Don't look at all the negative. Don't look at everything that can go wrong. Don't have that over pessimistic view of life. I know that you have to still be cautious and aware and use discernment. Always use discernment, but don't allow yourself to overanalyze, overjudge to where you never make a move. Because that's something I always told myself too. I don't want to be a person that don't make no moves. I don't want to be a person that lives in one place all my life. I don't want to be a person who's stagnant. I don't want to be a person who never gets to experience life at all. Because for a lot of people, they never go outside of their box. And that's not me. So, I'm just sharing with y'all just some experience. Okay, and just some encouragement. You know what I mean? So do your own research. Like I said, go within yourself, pray, meditate, if that's what you want to do. And even if you don't want to move out the country, if you feel like you want to move somewhere else within the states, whatever it is, however it applies, if you want to embark on a new journey doing something, or whatever, you know what I mean? Just do you, baby. But make sure you include the Most High in it. Okay? I love y'all. Peace. And remember, it's going to take more faith than money. It's going to take more faith than money. So don't ever let money be the end all be all dictator of your life. You can journey without having any money, and the money can just come. You got to be open to the magic of life. Everybody keep talking about the secret, but it's only when you step out and walk and live that you can experience the secret. Okay? So it's going to take more faith than money. So don't focus so much about the money, about you having it or not having it or anything like that. And if you do have it, like if you save up money, however you, whatever, don't think so much about the money. Think about the joy, the experience, you meeting new people or going to new places, you getting activated, whatever. You know what I mean? Open your mind up. Open your heart. All right? So this is a quick continuation of the video that I haven't even put out, but I made yesterday. If you ever seen the movie, The Book of Eli, in the movie, you know, everything was just laid desolate. And Eli had to just travel by his knowing, by his intuition. So people were asking him, you know, where are you going? And he said, I'm going west. He didn't know really why he was going west, but he knew that that was the direction to go in, without a map, without a phone, without anything. And so that's why I tell you guys too, it's important for you to have your spiritual connection to God, the Most High, you know, strong, because it's a lot of uproar going on all around the world, and you have to be able to navigate through these times, through these woes, because the earth is shifting. She's waking up, she's cleansing, she's doing what she got to do to get these parasites and lower vibrations and all this stuff off of her, because she is a living organism that has been neglected, that has been abused, that has been put to sleep. And so through her awakening, we have to go through her shifts and changes. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. You have to be doing you got to be doing right by the earth, doing right by yourself, by your body, ridding yourself of impurities, cleaning up your house. Okay, when the Bible talks about the house, your house, it's not just physical, it's within as well. Our vessels is housing our soul. So we have to clean up our house. We have to cleanse our organs and abstain from things that are toxic and that's not good for us, that can clog us up, that can deplete us, that can cloud our awareness. And so it's very important to do those things in this time, and to just stay spiritually connected and aware, and stop, boy, not getting caught up in distractions, because everything is a distraction. Like I told y'all before, right now everything is a distraction. The phone is a distraction, the TV, the news, it's all a distraction. What you have to be focusing on is what's being told to you, and you hear that through silencing all the distractions. You going out in nature with no phone, no music, nothing, just you and nature, and allow God to speak to you. Allow God to show you things. Close your eyes and allow the images to come in, or the voice to come in, or whatever, so you can hear. And this is why it's important to come out of the cities, come out of the hot spots where it's constant movement, constant doing, constant traffic, constant sounds, constant noise, just constant. It's just a web of chaos. You have to go out and silence yourself. You got to go to the mountaintop. You know what I mean? You have to do these things. You know, we read about it, but we don't do we don't do. So you have to do. And that's where a lot of people are going to stumble and fall at, because they don't want to do the necessary things to discipline and position yourself to be in good standing. You know, we can read stuff all day long, but it's when you apply those things to your life is when you see results. It's when you change, is when you grow. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to add that. So another example is the story in the Bible with the rich man wanting to walk with God, and Christ told him to give up everything. And even when Christ say in the Bible to give up everything and walk with me, to be my disciple, you know, like I don't think I made a video, but I had said this before. You know, could you give up everything for the Most High? Could you give up your car? Could you give up your home? Like, if Christ came, knocked on your door right now, could you just get up and walk with him? You know what I mean? Or would you be worrying about all your possessions? So, you know, like I told y'all before, you know, whatever you practice is what you practice. But even in the Buddhist or the you know, like more Eastern practices or things, you know, they teach you about, come on boy, they teach you about detachment and things like that, to not be attached to anything. And basically a lot of teachings all do coincide with the Bible. It's just all said in a different way. You know, you can't want to walk with God and then have all these attachments. You know, you got to be willing to surrender and make some changes, make some sacrifices. You know what I mean? For the better, for the higher. You know, make space, make room for that new, great, and better, you know what I mean, to come. So when you get brought down, basically like lowly, you know, when you don't have all the things of the world, you know, of what everybody else have, you know, the rich have a whole house full of stuff, you know, they have all these many different cars and all these things. And, you know, God says also not to envy the wicked. So why shouldn't you envy the wicked? Well, it's because the wicked, at the end of the day, all they can see is their possessions. They can't see nothing higher. They're not tapped in to the God realm. They're not tapped in to what's higher and above. Because when you are so caught up in your attachments and your everyday life, getting up, doing this and doing that, and it's all having to do with all these things outside of you, then that's 3D stuff. That's mundane stuff. God wants you to be spiritually minded and spiritually inclined, to stay in those higher realms of thought, to become like Christ. Because Christ is just an example, and Christ is also a reflection of our higher selves, of what we can be and become. We can heal just as Christ did. Miracles can follow us, you know, and things like that. We could do all these incredible things, but only if we are tapped into a certain higher level to do those things. And so that's where the fasting comes in. That's when the discipline comes in, of what you eat, what you entertain, where you go, like the type of environment you be in, the type of conversations you have, your prayer, your meditation, all those things. So it's a lot to Godship. It is. But if it's in you to become, then it's in you. You know, certain seeds have been placed and planted in certain people, but a lot of people aren't activating those seeds, or that seed hasn't just been activated yet. And then for some, it will never be activated, or they don't have it at all. And yeah. Something else I want to add to y'all. So if y'all ever seen like any of the old Bible movies or something like that, you always have the righteous people living outside of the city, and whenever they would need anything, they would have to go down into the city and get it. So basically, God wants you to come out of the city, out of the world, physically, but as well as spiritually. So the world is always telling you what to do, what to look like. You should do this, you should do that, blah 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 blah. It's a heavily influence on this unnatural image, this unnatural way of being, of thinking, of living. And God wants you to come out of that and come away from that. Come into the wilderness. Come into the more rural places. Come into places where you cannot be tempted or distracted by these outward forces or things. To just be always in a meditative state. So when Christ say, study my word day and night, you know, the word we can study in the book, but also Christ is within us. So when we just go within and meditate, we can always hear God and see God and know God. You know what I mean? Because it's already written on the tablets of our heart. You know, so, you know, you could do the inward thing, or you could read the book, whatever. It don't matter. As long as you stay in a meditation of constantly feeding yourself spiritually of that word, to get that light, that edification, that spiritual food, that spiritual substance, you know, to keep sharpening your mind's eye, to keep sharpening yourselves. Because a lot of our brothers and sisters are allowing, even trying to be spiritual, a lot of people are getting caught up in this final hour with fame. You know, fame comes from the world. You know, you wanting to be validated. You wanting to be accepted, appreciated. Look at me. Look at my business. This, that. You know, in your mind, you think that you're doing a good thing, which it could be. But you can get caught up in it to where it becomes a distraction, to where it derails you from being constantly in tune with God. Because when your focus, your main priority is that of your business, or you trying to reach more and more and more and more people of the world to so-called know God through your product or through your business or your service, that's not really how you're bringing people to God. But I mean, whatever, to each his own. But I'm just speaking about what I'm observing, and it's going to be a pitfall for a lot of people, because like I said before, if Christ come knocking at your door saying, come on, let's go, could you leave all your possessions and your heart's desires right where they stand to just go walk a new way? Christ is bringing a new system. The new system is not that which of this system. It's completely different. So with this system, with Satan's kingdom, he got us eating meat, watching Maury, you know, and this strife type shit. Got you just doing all kind of shit, right? But Christ's kingdom is a kingdom of love, peace, joy, bliss, being one with nature, being one with the animals. You blissed out, you know what I'm saying? And then for some people, Christ can show you higher things than that, like some more deeper real shit. Like people always be wondering how God do this, how God do that, but God don't reveal that stuff to everybody. It's only in secret. It's levels and initiations, just like it's levels and initiations with Satan's kingdom. You know what I mean? So you just got to keep all this in mind. You know, it's going to be a lot of stuff thrown at you in this final hour. And it's like, yeah, right now, everybody wanting to be rich and be famous and be put out there. And it's like, that shit is a distraction. You want to be low key right now. You want to be put up and silence this phone, silence what social media got to say, silence what the world talking about, and check yourself of what you need to work on, what you need to do to better yourself, regardless of what anybody else is doing, even the people that you look up to. It don't matter what they're doing. It's about what is God telling you to do. What is God showing you? Is God telling you to pull back? Is God telling you? What is God telling you? You know what I mean? So, because the world can tell you all day what they think God is telling them, and then they're showing you their so-called rewards or their blessings, and you don't even know if that stuff really come from the Most High. You don't know what they really doing behind the scenes to obtain the things that they are just saying that they got. Because yes, everybody want to show the beauty of what's going on, but never show you the real struggle or the real hardship behind the scenes or anything like that. So social media is crazy, man. You know, they play these hypnotizing catchy songs on a post to get you drawn in, to get you, man, this shit go deep. But anyway,
here, go over there.
Okay, y'all, so when we first came into this wisdom, this was, what was it? 2017. So when we found out all this destruction, all this stuff was happening, we like, well, shit, Most High, you want us to move out the way? Well, where you want us to go? So we thought first Africa, like most people, and literally we like, okay, we got like $2,000. When we had been in our apartment for like 5 months, and we was like already kind of just getting behind on rent and stuff. So we was just like, well, we'll just use the money that we got to just go over there, and we'll figure it out. Something will happen, doors will open up, but as long as we get over there, you know, because like I always tell y'all, it's going to take more faith than money. So if God instructs you to go somewhere with the little that you have, don't worry about the next steps and the next steps and the next steps. It's already figured out. You know, it's step-by-step process. But God want to see your obedience. You know, can you get up and move when I say move? But for us, Africa wasn't the direction that he was pointing us into. We thought that on our own. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell y'all too, you have to pray and ask for that. And if God instructs you to do a fast, to have that information revealed to you, then follow those instructions. But, you know, you got to be able to be willing and bold to move like that, to move on that type of faith. Well, all I got is this much money. I'm still going, you know. So just like when we traveled across country, when we initially first left, we only had like $30 or $100. No. I think we had $100 and something. And literally, we were in the parking lot of Albertsons, a grocery store called Albertsons. And for some reason, we had just was kind of lingering. Like we was at our car, we was at our trunk trying to just, you know, shift some things around. And this white woman walked up and she said, I don't know your situation or what's going on, but God told me to give you this. And it was $120. So we were able to move off of the little that we had, plus an increase. God sent someone to send more of what we needed. And we didn't have to go around ask, can you help me with some gas? And we didn't have to do that. It was sent. So I'm telling y'all this because the way me and my husband live, we're walking with God for real. Despite what it looked like, despite any whatever other thing, this is real right now. And this has been our behind the scenes journey this whole time. This is our life. It's this divine intimacy with God.